Happy New Year, lovelies! Wait. Oh. I know I've been a little quieter these last few months, but I have a very good reason for disappearing. You see, I became a dad. But not in real life. Hell no. Please no. Absolutely no, kids. Thank you very much. No. I'm here to gush to you all today about my little girl from Volcano Princess. Now, the last time I did a New Year's review about a seemingly wholesome game involving the raising of cute girls, it did not go well, and I was left with crushing disappointment. Which I guess is usually the case when you raise kids.
Failure.
Volcano Princess, or as I like to call it, Single Father Fantasy, is a point-and-click social simulation game released back in spring 2023. It's very reminiscent of those old stamina-based day-by-day flash games like dating sims you could find on places like Newgrounds and other
niche places of the internet.
Except that Volcano Princess is not a dating sim at all. Oh no, you're just trying to raise a girl into your version of the ideal woman in a fantasy world. Wait. No, see, you play as this man named Wood. Wait. Okay, look, you can change the name. The point is, you're a widowed man doing his best to raise a kid, alright? And she's the most adorable freaking kid. I mean, look at her.
爸爸最好啦。
Anyway, broadly speaking, your goal is to raise your daughter, default name Rose, into an accomplished knight under one of three paths, all while providing important emotional support as a dear old dad ought to do. The gameplay is beyond simple and a wet dream for anyone who's into logistics and min-maxing with action economy. Each turn, you're given a finite amount of AP to disperse across 7 main areas, which all have their various tasks that will increase some attribute of Rose's. There are 3 primary ones that help correspond to what kind of knight she'll develop as: stamina, mind, charisma. And these are cultivated by doing specific tasks and building 4 secondary stats: strength, intelligence, emotions, and imagination. For example, boating by the lakeside will increase her strength, listening to stories helps with her emotions, showing some artistic creativity is all about the imagination, and picking up a book to read raises intelligence. Imagine that, America. The activities themselves are actually quite varied conceptually, and given that this is a point-and-click game, the interactivity ranges from just a few clicks at a time to clicking all over the place. Rose can race horses, gossip with snooty nobles, and just like a child who should do things better than their parents, talk to people and make friends with them. That's right, there's a whole friendship system. As you socialize, give gifts, and hang out with a plethora of NPCs, and your level of platonic intimacy is indicated by this handy gauge of hearts, because hearts are the indisputable, unquestionable, and a universal symbol of friendship. Platonic intimacy. Speaking of, pro tip, make friends with Nina and Z as soon as possible because it's not all about lighthearted, totally wholesome, but anxiety-inducing social interactions. There's 2 dungeons in the game for some good old-fashioned turn-based RPG combat. The main one is made up of 4 different areas and will provide some pretty useful sweet rewards for your daughter's development, and you can take up to 2 qualifying friends with you at a time. The other dungeon, however, is when you send your precious child alone into the back alleys to deal with murderers, thieves, and rapiers, because let's face it, kids today are coddled far too much, and nothing makes them more appreciative of your earnest parenting than giving them a taste of how much worse off their lives could be without you. As you can probably tell, the gameplay is not demanding at all. Well, I mean, all the clicking might atrophy your brain and give you carpal tunnel, but the required skill for a game like Volcano Princess, even a 5-year-old could play this. If anything, you'll have the toughest time just figuring out how to allocate your very limited stamina each day and what to focus on. After all, you're working towards one of 58 career endings combined with one of 31 romance endings. Some of them can be pretty spicy too. Damn, I'm so proud of her. There's even a darkness stat you can build through certain means of questionable morality to obtain some more special career endings. Damn, I'm so proud of her! Now, that sounds like an incentive for replayability, but luckily it doesn't mean you need to play this dozens of times, especially when one full playthrough takes around 6 hours on average. Save slots do exist for a reason. Just get near the end for each major path, and depending on your resources for the last few turns, you can deviate quite a bit to access the endings that you want. For those of you who value narrative in your games, there's a plot as well. It's told piecemeal through dialogue as you go through the months and different events, but between clumsily presented mystical revelations and not a few localization mishaps, it's a little hard to follow the main storyline, much less have any deep emotional investment in it. Rather, it's the characters that are far more compelling. Their personalities are surprisingly distinct and fleshed out rather well through their lines, their interests, and cutscenes. I immediately became fond of quite a few of them and didn't outright dislike any of them. Well, maybe except the old bishop, but I'm pretty sure that one's just on principle.
Teach me, you prejudiced old fart.
Nope. On the audio side of things, the music and sound effects are mediocre at best. It's an indie social simulation game. You can't really expect some extraordinary soundtrack to come out of it, but what it does have gets the job done appropriately. Each setting sounds like they should sound, and you'll likely end up tuning out a lot of the audio. There is some voice acting in Volcano Princess, and I thought I was going to be pleasantly surprised since most of your daughter's important lines are fully voiced.
哇，爸爸好厉害哦！给爸爸鼓掌。
However, the vast majority of character sounds are going to be grunts, giggles, hums, and such, and they are going to get very old very fast. Overall, Volcano Princess is a pretty good casual time sink, especially for its price point. It's got a lot of variety to it, and it hits a lot of those nostalgia buttons by harkening back to Newgrounds Flash games of old. Plus, if you enjoy these Tamagotchi-style, micromanaging life simulators, I'd say Volcano Princess is worth getting and checking out. Just don't think too hard about the implications of the gameplay versus story premise when you're making all of her life decisions for her, or as her, but also technically you're her father, just like the patriarchy taught us to do.